Good evening, good morning, good day, whenever you pick this up. I would like to have a little, if you like, theory about palpitations. Not just the cause of them, but how maybe people can understand how to get over or arrhythmia of the heart, how to get over it. Because I've had this experience twice, and I've been able to recover from it twice by taking an understanding of I'm not a doctor, so I don't even know the medical terms, but the cardiac arrangements worked on electrical impulses somehow from the autonomic systems, and that then somehow gets out of whack for some reason, for many reasons. But how do you get the autonomic system or the cardiac system to beat regularly and back to its normal self after it's gained an arrhythmia? Right. Now, there are many causes for arrhythmia: poor health, enough exercise, too much alcohol and tobacco. But also, there are things like background environmental problems, like low frequency noises, which people don't want to understand or know about, in refrigeration units, in trucks, and where they affect you during your sleep. You can't escape these noises. They're there. They're massive low frequency waves, what's saturating the urban environment and the village environment, which then it affects the actual rhythms of the heart, because they sort of counter it. The heart beats at a certain frequency, if you like, and these things will counter. They can especially if they disturb your sleep. You don't know they're disturbing your sleep. You don't know they are. Some people are aware of more aware of low frequency noises than the others, about 20% of people. But that doesn't mean that you won't be affected by low frequency noises. And it's something that no government wants to talk about. They don't talk about environmentalism and stuff like that, but they don't want to talk about it's sort of the greater thing like the climate change, which really not necessarily it might affect people's health, but something that really does affect people's health is low frequency noise, and no government wants to talk about it. I mean, it's a real serious health issue not to have a good night's sleep, and the stress of traffic, the stress of work, and all that sort of thing. And you're bound to have a few more beers and whatever, and at the end of it, because it's sort of, well, you need that sort of thing. But when it comes to recovering from the arrhythmia or palpitation of the heart, because sometimes if they're caused by depletion of potassium or depletion of micronutrients through sweating too much when it's really hot, that's what happened to me twice in Australia, when because of the saving the climate regime, we can't afford air conditioning, so it got very, very hot. I'm sorry, it got global warming in summer in Australia because it's extremely hot, but for some reason the government, in its wisdom, says we shouldn't be able to afford air conditioning to save the people in Africa for having to go a degree warmer sometime in 100 years from now. It doesn't sort of make sense to me, but it makes sense to them. The thing is, it's all contradictory. But what's this to do about causing heart palpitations? Well, when older people, when days and days and weeks and then it gets very hot, very sweaty, you sweat all the salt out of you. You can't get out and exercise too much because it's too hot to do that as well. You're sort of stuck in this sort of regime, and what do you do with it? You drink lots of water and all that, but you need to drink lots of hydrolytes. You need to be drinking hydrolytes all the way through this, and get micro-nutritional drinks as much as you can into you, and keep your fluids up, but keep your salts up. You need a little bit of salt. There's the Tibetan salt, the pink salt. Put a little bit in your water, just a pinch in each glass of water, because it's full of micronutrients and minerals and stuff that may help you sort of keep your bodily salts up, which keeps your fluids in then, because you're losing all your salts with the fluids. And that then results in older people especially, and it can happen to anyone, but it results in older people finding it harder and harder to recover, unless you really know and really aware of it. And are already, if you're fit already, then you can find it, but you're not very fit. If you get unhealthy and you're overweight and you smoke too much and been a couch potato for too long, then maybe it'll be harder to recover in the way I'm going to suggest. But nonetheless, the then life is for living, and it's for overcoming the challenges that these things present to us. And when you overcome a challenge, it gives you actual practical experience that will sort of help you get through things in the future, because you'll start to maintain that, realize that keeping fit and healthy and as strong as you can is the best thing you can do when you get older. It doesn't matter how rich you are, but being as fit and healthy and energetic in your mind as well as your body as you can be is the most important thing you can do when you as you get older. What I did, and I did it twice now, is I had a theory that my heart arrhythmia, which is unusual because I've got really good heart, my heart rate beats at 60 and it hasn't done forever. It's 60, my blood pressure is good, so there's no reason for having this. I don't have a ill health problem. But something had brought this arrhythmia on, and it was I put it down to sweating too much in this heat, etc. It has to be that, because I suddenly felt my heart felt unstable and everything. And unfortunately for the government, I didn't die and I have to keep collecting a pension. But that's beside the point. They're very sad about that. I'm happy. They're sad. The government's always happy if pensions die early. That's what the government's like. The government's much preferred pensioners to die early. That's why the Liberals wanted to have it so people worked until they died, and now the Labour Party is going to punish people for working hard anyway and take the sort of franking credits off them. That is in Australia. They don't like people actually doing work and not pensioning and then picking a pension up at the end of it. They don't like that. That's a bit of a nuisance. The corporate system doesn't like that. Anyway, it needs the money more than the old people. The thing is, though, I'm not saying you got to have a sense of humour. That's the most important thing. If you get this arrhythmia and you're reasonably fit, you need to get active. You need to get as many fluids into yourself. You need to get your salts back into yourself. You need to get nutritional drinks. What I've got a whole list of macronutrients and minerals, especially potassium, magnesium, vitamin B12, and all the things that go into these multi-nutritional or micronutritional substances and that you can buy, or these superfoods. You need to get them into you. You need to get those into you in as much as you can. You're not going to overload on them, and you need to get them. And then when the weather gets cooler, if you're still good going and cooking yourself when it's really hot, but you need to get in the water and go for a swim. You need to swim for half an hour in the sea if you can get to the sea, if not in a pool. You need to swim for half an hour, and quite firmly and steadily, right? And do that every day. You need to do this every day you need to do a deep, deep breathing while you're swimming, because then you're forcing your body, you're forcing your heart to beat at a slightly higher rate constantly through a whole time frame. If you could swim for an hour and keep your heart so it's beating whatever it beats at, because you can't count it with swimming, but when it beats at a regular beat and you're forcing it to, and you're breathing as much as you can, clean oxygen into your body. So you're cleaning the poisons and toxins out of your body by breathing as well. That's to get rid of toxins out of your body as well. If you build up toxins in your body by not breathing enough when you're sort of sitting around because it's too hot and sweaty as well. And breathing is extremely important to clean the brain and get you thinking again. That's why opiates are very, very bad things to get addicted to. But that's another thing. And also, if you can get onto one, get onto a push bike and ride it for about an hour and push yourself. You have to put it into a high gear, and you have to sort of make sure it's got to be hard work for an hour. It's got to be so good God, this is going to kill me. It's either going to kill you or you're going to survive through it, and you'll get rid of it. It has in my case twice within 2 or 3 years. Got rid of my arrhythmia successfully by taking this theory I had that I can make the art or the autonomic system remember that there's sort of, we call it the internal system that works without us thinking. Whatever it is, it's a sort of, it has a compulsion to keep you alive. And when you have to sort of remind it And the way to remind to get electrical impulses or get your heart to pump on a regular basis, how do you do that? Well, hearts pump on a regular basis. We measure them by the minute, by the 30 seconds. But if you get your heart to pump for an hour, because it has to, it's got no choice, because you're riding a bike, with it against the wind or in a high gear, so you're actually doing a bit and put some real effort in. Then you will find, if you do that 2 or 3 times, you feel lucky, and I can't guarantee this. I'm just asking other people to take this experiment up. I've done it twice. I'm suggesting other people can take this as an experiment. And if some other people can take it as an experiment and go and do it and find that they're successful, well, you're not going to lose because you're going to get fitter anyway. I mean, you're going to get fitter, and the fitter you are, well, you're going to be happier you're going to be anyway with yourself anyway. So, getting fit is the best thing you can do. As long as you get older, try and get fitter every day till you die. I mean, that's the philosophy is trying to keep getting fitter and stronger until you die. You've got to try to die as fit as you can. That's the aim in life. If you want to really annoy the government, keep as fit and healthy as you can for as long as you can, and keep away from doctors as often as much as you can. And that's the best way to sort of really get up the nose of the government and corporate system. But that's another thing, another way of looking at it. You want to have a go at the government? Don't get sick. You want to have a go at the health system and the corporations? Do not get sick. Keep as healthy and fit and as active and as happy as you can by keeping your mind alert, your body alert, your body nice and strong. And B, you can't do much about the world. Don't get too depressed about things you can't do nothing about. You can't do nothing about the climate. You can't do nothing, but you can do something about your own fitness. And this is just something. I suggest that you can try if you've got arrhythmia, slight problems with your heart. Well, watch your health. Stop drinking alcohol. I mean, I love my whiskey, but I've stopped it because it might be a problem. And so now I just got to watch my cat doesn't escape. He's my prisoner. Anyway, I just thought I thought you can maybe watch this again. But I'm not going to repeat it again. Get on your bike for an hour if you've got arrhythmia and you're not a big fat person or you're not sort of couch potato. You can't get it. Even then, you may, even then, you've got to get your heart going for an hour at a time. So it's boom, 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 for an whole hour if you can. So it's beating. And then it's corrected itself. For some reason, some specialist is going to have to explain some reason that the electrocardiographic, whatever it is, impulses what keep your heart beating at a steady rate normally, is then remembered by the sort of the autonomic, what I call the autonomic system, the system what works, a voluntary system, if you like. Involuntary system, sorry, I've just remembered my basic biology. Involuntary system in your body that keeps you breathing and your blood flowing and all the other things what keep working with heart is having to think about it too much. But you can think about it as well. You can positively think about any aspect about your body and try to think how do I sort this by positively thinking and learning as much as you can about what's going on. It's up to you to gain as much knowledge as you can about your own body and how it works. And that's the very best way to try and keep healthy, is learn. Everyone can learn, it's only plain English. Most things are there on the net and in plain English, and if you don't understand what it says, well, get a dictionary out, or medical dictionary, or look the word up on the Google. It'll tell you. Write it down if you need to, so it helps to clarify it. And that's why you can become your own, not physician, but you can sort of begin to analyse your own self and how it works for your own benefit. Because you own your body and you own your life. No one else does. The corporate medical structures, pharmaceuticals, they want to own your body, they want to own your life. But you must take control of it yourself. And that's one way of doing it. My name's Graham, and I just pass this on to people. Don't die young. Die as fit as you can. Be as fit as you can till the day you die. And then you can, you may die. Remember this. You may die on the nest while making love with your missus. So remember this. I got dementia. Forgot what I was going to say. Remember this. Eerie lies with a smile. They could not find his taxation file. All he earned was all he spent, and when he was coming, he went. Now, if you can have that on your gravestone, you're doing rather well. Bye.